and we are taking you up to tip of our next game out in the desert. BYU, Noah Waterman and the Cougars getting ready to take on Kevin Keats and the Wolfpack in under 20 minutes. We'll get you to tip, and we're back after this. And we are back. DJ Burns. Tom, you have a spot to
DJ Burns, he's going to deal with the Foos tonight. Foos Traore, who's coming off a really good game. That is going to be a very underrated battle inside.
No question. North Carolina State looked pretty darn good in this tournament on Thursday night.
With it. Yep. Okay, I don't change. I can't go shop where you shop.
Jaden Taylor shopping for a dub. North Carolina State and BYU is on the way.
You get that?
You're watching the Vegas Showdown as part of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. In Vegas for the championship game of the Vegas Showdown, Michelob Ultra Arena at Mandalay Bay. Couple of unbeatens, NC State and BYU hooking up for the championship of this event. Earlier tonight, the third place game, Arizona State took care of Vandy. And now we have 5-0 BYU and 4-0 NC State meeting in this championship matchup. Along with Sean Farnham, Roxy Bernstein with you. And we got a fun matchup here for this championship game.
We really do, and we have a team that can flat out score the ball from a variety of angles, in particular from beyond the three-point line in BYU, and a very disruptive team in North Carolina State. It's going to be a lot of fun, Roxy.
Well, Noah Waterman for BYU last night, a career high in points, and BYU leads the country in made threes, and he's a big reason why.
Well, and there's such a stark difference from who Noah Waterman was a season ago to who he is now, and when I spoke with him at shoot-around this afternoon, I said, you tell me what the difference is. I can project, but I'd rather hear it from you. And he dropped 24, as you mentioned last night, the efficiency from beyond the arc. He said, last year I got caught up in the highs and the lows. The highs were too high, the lows were too low, and that inconsistency impacted me. And all offseason, all I focused on was defending and rebounding and letting the offense come. Speaking about defending, that is what North Carolina State does an excellent job of, but they've got a lot of talent at the guards position. Jaden Taylor and Dennis Parker Jr., the freshmen, they both had 18 last time out. They manufactured points through their effort and their heart at the defensive end. That made Coach Keats extremely happy with the way his team performed last night, and now they've got to do it even at a higher level given the offensive scoring power of BYU.
BYU ranks 6th in the country in scoring at almost 92 points per game. They make the most threes, almost 13 a game. They hand out the third most assists. They have the best rebound margin in the country. It's early, but also the best defensive three-point percentage in the land. BYU wearing the whites. The Road Reds for NC State as Dallin Hall backs his way in the miss. And the rebound claimed by Mohamed Diarra for NC State. The Wolfpack last night, 84-78, outlasting Vanderbilt. As Parker Jr. went for a young career high 18 off the bench, he also grabbed 9 rebounds. As DJ Burns, who had a solid all-around game, finds DJ Horn underneath, who missed the lay-in, and Noah Waterman the rebound for BYU.
Have to be concerned a little bit on the double team. You have to have that awareness in the weak side because DJ Burns can really pass the ball out of the post.
Wolfpack forced 19 turnovers last night at 12 steals, and Noah Waterman keeps it going for BYU.
If you like three-point shots, this is the team. They do it in mass volume and great efficiency, does BYU. And they've got multiple shooters out on the floor. In fact, at shoot-around today for North Carolina State, they wear different jerseys for personnel. Green means shooter, yellow means driver, and red usually means a player that's going to play with the back to the basket and post up a little bit, right?
Casey Morcell for NC State.
Everybody had a green jersey on today, and the point of emphasis was they've got shooters everywhere out on the floor, but they cannot turn it over. That's going to lead to runouts and points.
And a reach in, and Trevin Nell in disbelief called for the foul for BYU as Kevin Keats now in year 7 in Raleigh. And he's taken them to 2 tournaments, but the COVID year wiped out what would have been a 3rd year for NC State.
And just the way he coaches his team is just so impressive. Watching him at practice over the last couple of days and his understanding of his roster and how he wants them to play, I think he's got a lot of confidence in this group. And mentioned to me that the defense definitely ahead of the offense, but the offense has looked pretty good. And I think part of that is the continued growth in these guards, and in particular Dennis Parker Jr., who'll come off the bench tonight, number 11. He's a very talented freshman. In and out from Trevin Nell, and the rebound creating space was DJ Burns Jr. for the Wolfpack. The lob ahead for Mohamed Diarra. Down low. And he traveled trying to move through the double team. Mark Pope, 5th season as the BYU head coach, and Utah Valley for 4 years prior, just up the road from Provo. And he's had 20 or more wins in each of the last 5 years. Prior to last season, and they won 19 games in a reach-in on Jaden Taylor of the Wolfpack. One of the things I think we should note early in this game, too, like the difference in styles, right? I mean, obviously, very disrupted defense for North Carolina State. BYU, we talk so much about their offense. In the Ken Palm rankings right now, BYU's defense is 10th best in the country. 10th. And that goes along with an offense that we've talked about that clearly has a ton of firepower, which is 20th best in the country. Well, BYU's giving up only 55 points a game. Opponents are shooting 37% and 17.5% from 3. Think about the conference they're playing in, the Big 12. If you don't defend in the Big 12, you got no chance. And a BYU foul. And it's on Fousseyni Traore of the Cougars. I think it's on Spencer Johnson. Oh, no, you were right. They gave it to Fous. I should never question you. Yes, you should. Okay. And you should question me often. Jaden Taylor, 3. Good shot. Good ball movement. Good find. Ready to be shot ready on the catch. And now Jaden Taylor lays it in. It's BYU having trouble with the pressure from the Wolfpack. 9 straight for the Pack. Taylor was just an energy giver. When we talked about in the open, their guards and how they play, and that's going to be another turnover. BYU is rattled right now based on the intensity and the pressure that the Wolfpack is applying. A good pass out of the post again by DJ Burns, finding the shooter on the opposite side, and then watch Taylor. Great anticipatory skills to jump that passing lane and be able to finish. Early subs for both sides as Trey Stewart checks in for BYU, while the freshman, the only true freshman on the roster for Kevin Keats, Dennis Parker Jr., who had 18 last night in their win against Vandy, as Trevin Nell called for his 2nd foul off the ball. So early trouble for Mark Pope and BYU. And part of that is because the pace of the game and the way everything is playing right now is being played at NC State's pace. And they're being the ones that are the disruptor. And the officials are going to the monitor here as Kevin Keats being ushered back toward his bench. Ray Natili, Terry Oglesby, Randy Richardson are crew for this championship game in Vegas. And wondering if that last play, the foul on Nell, if they're looking for potential upgrade to a flagrant 1. I think NC State, without guessing what they're exactly looking at here, I'll just tell you this. NC State came here and their coaching staff, each and every one of them said, we want to find out about our team in the next 48 hours. And the schedule early hasn't been the most challenging, so they want to see it. And I just think that's a foul. Let's play. But the way they've responded here so far in Las Vegas has been really good. Got off to a little bit of a sluggish start last night and then turned it on. And they went on, a 17-2 run, I believe. And kind of separated that game real quick. Tonight, they've been off to a great start. I think that's nothing more than just a normal foul. I mean, they're looking for potential hook and hold? That's the only thing I can think of. 9-3 NC State with the lead. The Wolfpack
They're 4-0 for the fourth time.
They're talking a lot over there, these officials. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I've watched that 3 times.
We're talking a lot, too.
And I've dismissed that play after the first time our producer showed us back to it. It's just a common foul. But they're really in deep conversation over there about this and trying to get on the same page. But I don't see anything crazy there. Am I missing something?
No, I'm with you. I don't see anything that would warrant an upgrade to a flagrant 1. So they're explaining it to Mark Pope and to Kevin Keats, and now Terry Oglesby coming over to tell Sean Farnham.
Ladies and gentlemen, the foul against number 21, Trevor Nell, has been revoked. Instead, we have a flagrant 1 in the 14th NC State, Casey Wolfpack.
Okay, so the officials have deemed that a hook and hold against North Carolina State. They take the foul off the board for Nell.
So Nell only has 1 foul and not 2. So the hook and hold is a flagrant 1,
which means free throws
and the ball for BYU.
And the ball. Okay,
and it's on.
Let me look at it through that prism. No, that's a foul. That's a foul on Nell, and I don't think that's really a hook and hold. I'm sorry. Nell makes contact with his hands on the body prior to any release of the arms going up, and as the arms went up, it wasn't like he pulled and held at all.
Trevin Nell hits both free throws, and now it's a BYU possession. It was, to me, it almost looked like he was like a defensive end in football, like a rush edge, coming off the corner and just trying to do the arm swim move.
Talking about Bosa and my Niners?
Yeah.
How many sacks
Your
did they
Niners.
How many sacks did they get the other night? 6? Defense looked good.
Yeah, they did.
Chase Young is a pretty good addition, by the way.
Randy Gregory doesn't look too shabby either. Foul off the ball against NC State. DJ Horn called for his first.
Let's see if that opens up the door here, because NC State's defense and pressure had really been disruptive to BYU.
BYU 5-0, NC State 4-0. And the ball stripped and stolen by DJ Horn for the Wolfpack.
That's the length of the guards, though. I mean, it's the deflection off the initial post entry.
And DJ Horn a 3.
This NC State team looks really well. The ACC hasn't had a lot of great wins so far this season as a conference. And Coach Keats was talking about that. He said, listen, we need to represent the conference right now and take pride in the ACC-SEC Challenge. Is going to be another great opportunity coming up.
Good blockout by Casey Morsell for NC State.
This would be a great win for NC State. I'm going to get back to DJ Burns here and then watch. He's going to look to pass out of it.
And he banks it in off the window.
The problem was defensively that time. They talked about this earlier with Foose at shoot-around. They wanted to split and not allow DJ Burns to just rip and go or spin off. We saw the spin move late last night in the second half. That time Foose got caught on the high side, and the rotation over was a step slow on the double team.
Wolfpack have made their last 6 shots. Noah Waterman moving in. He lost his footing, and I think he rolled his ankle. DJ Horn back the other way for the lay-in, and Waterman is slow to his feet, and he's in some discomfort.
How about this start for Coach Keats' team, though? Defensively, they have been sensational so far. They have 4 steals. They've turned almost all of them into points. You get caught on the high side, rotation a little bit slow. DJ Burns able to get there, and then defense to offense. Get the steal, throw it ahead, let your guards run out. A lot going right for the Wolfpack.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Las Vegas, where excessive celebration is encouraged. What a start for NC State. Don't turn your back on the Wolfpack, Sean Farnham. 16-5, up early.
If you turn your back on them, they're going to steal it from you, I promise. Purdue, just unbelievable over in Maui. Zach Edey, great performances each and every game. UConn continues to roll. The efficiency and the sheer numbers of players that are averaging 11-plus points this year for Dan Hurley's team has been impressive. Some huge games coming up for them, including one at Allen Fieldhouse a couple Fridays from now. I think it's next Friday, actually. Nova takes the battle for Atlantis. Really big week for them. Took a loss before the start of that tournament, beat North Carolina, then won the tournament today in convincing fashion over Memphis.
Trey Stewart breaks the press. Trevin Nell had a clean look, and the rebound fighting for it is Stewart and Ben Middlebrooks, and NC State comes away with it.
I like this line that Mark Pope told me at shoot-around today about his team's mindset and what it had to be. He said, Sean, this is a game where it comes down to toes, not heels. If we play on our heels, we're going to play into NC State's defense. We're going to turn the ball over. We're going to be apprehensive. If we're on our toes, we're going to play with courage and consistency and confidence to push and punish the press. So far, NC State has BYU on their heels.
6 turnovers for the Cougars, who are 1 for 6 from the field. 1 for 5 from 3. And speaking of threes, Ben Middlebrooks tried it from deep. And the rebound grabbed by Trey Stewart for BYU. As the Cougars a little bit shorthanded tonight. Their top reserve off the bench as far as post players go. They don't have Ali Atiki tonight, because of an incident that happened late in the game with Arizona State last night, as Fousseyni Traore goes to work down low.
Fous does such a good job carving out space underneath.
An errant pass thrown away by Jaden Taylor. Fousseyni Traore, and he's clutching his hamstring as he goes down. And a foul on the open floor on Dennis Parker Jr. of the Wolfpack.
This is a hold your breath moment right now for BYU, because you just mentioned Ali Atiki unavailable for the game tonight, and that leaves them extremely short-handed. And he's in the open floor. Fous gets up, but as he runs down this floor, he reaches back for his hamstring. A little bit of contact right there, and as he went to the ground.
So he awkwardly went down, and now he's heading toward the bench, and the athletic trainer for BYU walking with Fousseyni Traore. And a good sign, Noah Waterman, who rolled his ankle earlier, is coming back. And they do have Ali Khalifa available tonight, the transfer from Charlotte, who's been dealing with a knee injury.
And Fous has gone back to the tunnel right away.
And because of the 1-game suspension, which Ali Atiki is serving tonight, that means he cannot be in the arena for the game. Trey Stewart fouled by the grad transfer from Stanford, Michael O'Connell.
Trey Stewart's one of those players in this game I think could have a big game for BYU. He's not going to back down from anybody, and you've got to have enough courage to, as mentioned, you use coach's words, be on your toes, not your heels. He can be aggressive here tonight. Good job defensively cutting off that angle.
Trevin Nell launching. And there's Jaden Taylor skying for the rebound for the Wolfpack.
A little difference in the quality of three-point shot we saw last night versus the quality of the three-point shot BYU's getting so far here tonight.
Jaden Taylor missing the step back, and the rebound falls to Jackson Robinson.
They are contested looks so far here tonight, Roxy.
Tough shot for Robinson on the step back, and Ben Middlebrooks clears underneath for NC State.
Only 1 assist so far in this game for BYU. They're one of the best in the country. They assist on almost 70% of their made field goals this season.
And Trey Stewart called for a foul out top. First on Stewart. But NC State 7 of 10 from the floor. They're attacking the basket. Made a couple of threes. Morsell, that's a 2, and it rattles and goes for Casey Morsell.
Watch the pass.
Noah Waterman beats everybody down the floor.
A great pass by Trey Stewart. But the bigger problem right now for BYU is they can't get a stop. I mean, NC State has made 8 out of their last 10 shots they've attempted. A lot of things going right at this end of the floor. That's a foul.
Michael O'Connell down low, leaning in, and it falls off, but Ben Middlebrooks keeps it alive. And a whistle underneath, and a BYU player, Richie Saunders, is down in the key. A good sign for BYU is Fousseyni Traore, who went to the locker room, has now come back to the BYU bench.
Looks a little ginger there, though. The trainer just talked to Mark Pope. We'll see if and when he can get back in the game. And I'll try to get some word here during the next commercial break.
One more for Ben Middlebrooks, the transfer from Clemson, the junior from Fort Lauderdale. Transferred to NC State last spring, played his first 2 years with Clemson. And he puts NC State back up double digits, now an 11-point lead. Matches their largest. Trey Stewart in the lane. And a foul on the baseline, the second on Dennis Parker Jr. of the Wolfpack. NC State by 11. Trey Stewart and BYU trying to come back. But he's got a myriad of interests and off the floor. An entrepreneur, Trey Stewart.
This day and age of NIL collectives, all this talk, a lot of it goes down to individual interest too. And Trey Stewart has made himself an entrepreneur with default happiness.
Even JC liked it. That's how you know it's fun.
What do you think?
Yeah, I need some love. He need one. He needs some. Yeah.
It's fire. That's Dwayne Wade wearing default happiness, which basically he takes blankets, turns them into clothing. I was just watching during the break too, the one he made about our San Francisco 49ers. I used R as
yes,
mine this time.
Thank you.
But he's done a tremendous job, and it's very creative. He's very talented, and has a very unique eye for fashion.
And he also has a connection to some, not just Dwayne Wade, but Puka Nacua of the Rams, Talanoa Hufanga of the 49ers.
You should check
it out. Turnover off the inbound.
I mean, look at the sweater here. I mean, that was a blanket that he turned into a sweater. He's got Dwayne Wade rocking it. I love it.
You want one, don't you?
I do.
You're going to ditch your robe for that, aren't you?
I would. I'd get more use out of it. I'm not really a robe guy.
Corner three short from Casey Morsell. As racing up the floor, BYU, Richie Saunders, transition three for the Cougars.
And they talked about that all day at Shootaround. NC State did, is in transition, they will run and they will plant for the three-point shot. And that's the best look they've had from the outside since the first shot of the game.
Ali Khalifa in. He wasn't available last night. He's been dealing with a knee issue as an air ball from DJ Burns goes out of bounds. But that's where BYU is tonight, because now we don't know the extent of the injury to Fousseyni Traore, who's back on the bench. Ali Atiki not available tonight. And so Ali Khalifa pressed into duty in some valuable minutes here in the first half. It's deflected out after the turnover by the Cougars. It stays with NC State.
Well, so you get an air ball, but then your defense, that's the thing about NC State. It doesn't react. It just says, okay, we'll go ahead and get it back right away.
BYU's given it away already 8 times.
They only average a little bit over 10 per game this season.
6 steals for the Pack, 3 for DJ Horn already.
The steals portion of it, I think, is the biggest, right?
Because that leads to runouts.
Live ball turnovers, it applies pressure to your defense.
Michael O'Connell down the lane. And a foul will get O'Connell to the stripe. And it's on Trey Stewart, his second. And Michael O'Connell, the grad transfer from Stanford, who has 2 years to play. He graduated Stanford in 3 years. That's incredible.
Do you know how smart you have to be to do that?
A degree in economics from Stanford.
In 3 years.
ESPN Events Invitational Brackets from Orlando. The championship coming up tomorrow. Rather on Sunday, I should say. Between FAU and Virginia Tech. 1 Eastern on ESPN. Michael O'Connell remains perfect at the line this season. 6 for 6. Back to a double-digit lead.
And more importantly, what that does is it allows you to set up your defense and set up your press.
Dallin Hall fumbles it away. DJ Horn, another steal. Horn to the basket. And coming away with it, BYU. 3-on-2. Richie Saunders, 3, his second 3. A lot of BYU fans here at Michelob Ultra Arena starting to make some noise. DJ Horn, 3! What a shot from Horn! Second 3 for DJ Horn.
How about that answer?
Trevin Nell had a good look, and the rebound poked free, and away with it is Jaden Taylor for NC State. Taylor darts up the floor, bowls over Nell, and a block on Trevin Nell.
I like the chippiness. I like the energy in the building. I like the energy by both the teams on the floor. Pretty close to being a charge. Most officials had the call. They agreed upon it. But that was pretty close to being a charge. Here's the thing. I was watching Dallin Cuff in studio earlier today with Seth Greenberg, and I thought Dallin made a good point about, AAU basketball. You can win a championship essentially every weekend, right? Different tournament, you just win it. Okay, hey, look, we won a championship here, we won a championship there. When you get to this level, you have very few opportunities to call yourself a champion during the course of the year. Often it is during this week. It is during, your race to the conference regular season, conference tournament championship, and then the NCAA tournament. That's it. And so you've got to sense that moment, feel that moment. NC State doing a really good job so far answering the call. Even when you get a transition 3 and you give something up, you come back down. And DJ Burns has played a really smart game so far, setting up his teammates. He's got 3 assists out of the 4 that NC State has.
First foul on Mohamed Diarra. NC State looking to go to 5-0. First time since the 18-19 season they started 5-0. As Trevin Nell, that's Dallin Hall missing the front end of the 1-and-1. Jaden Taylor. Here's Diarra backing down. Knocked away. Trying to save it, but it's out of bounds as Dallin Hall went into the scorer's table. And there's 4 on the timer for NC State.
Good defensive possession for BYU right there. They were swarming. They were reacting. They were there on the catch.
Michael O'Connell. Shot clock rolling down. And he tried to bank in the 3. And the rebound grab by Ali Khalifa for BYU. Here's a 3 on the way, and Jackson Robinson.
Well, and that just irritates Coach Keats. Because the one thing he said, you can't get caught on the screens. You got to go over the top. And when you run into the screen like that, you're going to give up a wide open 3.
BYU fans trying to make some noise, urging on the Cougars to play some defense here. O'Connell to the basket, missed the leaner. Dallin Hall, outlets, transition three. And the miss from Jackson Robinson, and the rebound tracked down by Spencer Johnson. He moves in, Johnson to the basket, and one, Spencer Johnson.
BYU has been trailing throughout the course of this first half. The game changer can be the three-point shot. If you get caught on a screen against them, you're giving up an open look. You don't finish the rebound by grabbing it with two hands, you give them another chance. BYU looking to try to make the most of it. They'll be at the line when we return.
Well, BYU trying to make a push to get back in the game from 12 down. They're within 7 with 7:42 to go here in the first half in Vegas. Championship game of the Vegas Showdown. We've alluded to the Cougars are without Atiki Ali Atiki tonight, and here is why. Late in the game with Arizona State last night, he was tied up with Akil Watson, and that's what transpired. And luckily, Mark Pope quickly got out there, the coach of the Cougars, to keep anything else from happening. But that is why Atiki Ali Atiki is suspended for one game. The Big 12 ruled that today. So the Cougars are without their top big off the bench for this game with NC State.
And that's a concern for Mark Pope and this team, because it forces you now to play some guys that really haven't gotten a lot of minutes, or play them in different positions in which they've been. Noah Waterman right now is currently playing what would be considered the 5 spot. Now, that means defensively you're going to have to give some help. He's given up incredible size to DJ Burns, but offensively that means Burns is going to have to come away from the hoop and defend a player like Noah Waterman. We've tried to get an update on Fus Traore from BYU. Have yet to get a reply back.
He is on the bench. We went to the locker room briefly after it seemed he did something with his hamstring. As a three spins out for DJ Horn. And just hearing back from BYU, he will not return tonight. So the Cougars have to go the rest of this championship game without Fousseyni Traore, as Spencer Johnson goes to work inside, and BYU is within 5. 7 straight for the Cougars.
That takes away a huge rebounder. And here we go to the zone now for BYU.
DJ Horn, 3! Third 3 for DJ Horn.
It was a great screen, though, by Burns on Hall that just picked him off and gave Horn the availability to get a free look. That's a foul.
And Noah Waterman missing the 3. The offensive rebound, Richie Saunders for BYU. What a first half. DJ Horn, 11 points, 4 steals. Nice drop off. And inside, it rolls in for Noah Waterman.
This has been a really well-played game. You watch a lot of games during these feast weeks. They don't look like this. These are 2 really good teams.
DJ Burns follows up his own miss.
I think Noah Waterman had the right idea, though. They gave up the 2, and not that he wanted to, but he's looking to sprint to the rim and get out in front. That's off.
Way off from Richie Saunders. Corner 3 in transition. Casey Morsell.
5 threes in the first half for NC State. They are playing with a freedom and an aggressiveness that's fun to watch.
And the lead is double digits again for the Wolfpack. Fouled and one. Dallin Hall for the Cougars. First points for Hall tonight.
Roxy, you watch NC State, and they've got this 9-point lead right now. Watch the screen by Burns right there. Picks off Hall. Opens it up for his teammate. Very next possession, you feed it to Burns. He's able to finish. And then in transition, you run to your spot, get your feet set, and fire away. 52% shooting so far here in the first half. And you mentioned BYU's ability to defend the three-point line this season. They hold opponents to 17% from beyond the arc and only 3 made threes per game. NC State has 5 already here and is shooting 46% from deep.
They forced 9 Cougars turnovers. The Wolfpack with 7 steals. And the lead is 8 for NC State. Step back from DJ Horn. And Dallin Hall skies for the rebound for the Cougars. Spencer Johnson backing down. Noah Waterman fouled on a 3.
Yep.
And Casey Morsell in disbelief. Second on Morsell. And 3 shots for Noah Waterman.
I don't understand what the thought process is on if not knowing that that's a foul. He's in the act of shooting. You slapped him on his arm.
And it's short for Waterman. He has 2 more. Had the career high 24 against Arizona State last night. He made 6 threes in the game last night.
He could really shoot the ball, and I think this is interesting, you know, whether he's playing the 4 or the 5 the remainder of this game without Foose. The ability to space the floor and the need to look to drive. That's why I think Trey Stewart might become more available here in the second half as far as being aggressive. And we saw some good action with him punching the paint and then creating for those shots on the outside.
And Noah Waterman called for the foul. That'll send Casey Morsell to the line for NC State. So 2 shots for Morsell. Senior, transferred from Virginia, the former Gatorade Player of the Year in high school for Washington, D.C.
Well, one of the things NC State has done is they've always, so far this year, they've been able to elongate runs, right? It's about runs over the course of the game. How many runs and what's the quality of the run that you have allows you to create the separation necessary. Last night, they had 2 big runs, including a 17-2 spurt in the second half. And that's what created the separation. And I thought early on in this game, you see the 3-point shot immediately by BYU, but it was NC State that immediately put a run right on it. And this entire first half, BYU was trying to play catch-up.
Waterman will get a breather here. Our first look at Townsend Triple tonight, the redshirt freshman from Meridian, Idaho. So some unique combinations for Mark Pope tonight because of what he's dealing with. The injury to Fousseyni Traoré and not having Atiki Ali Atiki tonight.
Well, with this lineup out on the floor, it changes the way you can defend, too. Now you can help off some guys and try to put them in uncomfortable situations.
3 missed by Ali Khalifa, but the follow inside.
Spencer Johnson, great job positioning himself on the weak side to get that inside position. And very smart to not bring that ball down. Instead, just get the rebound and put it right back off the square.
These are 2 big dudes on that side of the floor right now. Rattles out from Burns and Khalifa the rebound.
Dangerous pass, almost stolen.
Fade away from Jackson Robinson. There is Ali Khalifa, and a foul will send Khalifa to the line. So Khalifa doing some things to help out the Cougars tonight. They're going to need him. The big man from Alexandria, Egypt, the transfer from Charlotte. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. ACC SEC challenge coming up this week on Tuesday. Miami and Kentucky, Clemson and Bama on ESPN Tuesday night. And then Wednesday night, we'll have Tennessee at the Dean Dome to take on the Tar Heels. Duke will travel to Arkansas. And NC State will be in action. They'll take on Ole Miss on ESPN2 coming up on Tuesday night.
All of these games really important for all of these teams. So many non-conference games we look at and it's easy to scoff at, and you go, where are they playing? Who are they playing? Like, what are we doing here? But there's been a lot of great games that we've seen already, whether it was the Maui Invitational. Arizona just played Michigan State yesterday on a neutral site game. UConn's going to Kansas on next Friday. There's been a lot of huge games on college basketball and a lot of games that will matter. We can say that these games don't matter. They do matter.
One more for Ali Khalifa. First trip to the line as a Cougar. Last year, honorable mention All-Conference USA with Charlotte as DJ Burns secures it for NC State. Wolfpack have led by as many as 12 here in the first half of this one. Championship game. We're at the Mandalay Bay Michelob Ultra Arena in Vegas. The Vegas Showdown.
NC State +9 in points off of turnovers here in the first half.
Turning the corner and a tough shot goes. Casey Morsell. He's in double figures with 11. Townsend triple. Comes up empty on the triple. Jaden Taylor gets past Jackson Robinson to the basket.
The explosiveness and the attack from these NC State guards, it's fun to watch. And they have multiple guys. They drop their shoulders and they get them lower than the defender's hip. And once they do that, they're by you.
Ali Khalifa missing a three, and a foul will stay at this end, a hold on Ben Middlebrooks, who yanked down Townsend triple.
Let's go back to the last bucket, though, by NC State, and you watch the defensive player stand up, and boom, you get by him, and the length and the feel for the game, whether it's Taylor, whether it's Parker Jr., Morsell, I mean, they have guards that just keep coming at you. DJ Horn.
Double bonus for BYU as Townsend triple has one more.
And the problem is when you start hitting threes like they've done in the first half, right? The coaches gap integrity. We got to make sure that we are in the gaps at the defensive end of the floor, and we don't allow that attack and them to get a piece of our paint and break us down. But then when you start giving up threes, all of a sudden now you've got concern. My guys hit a couple threes, and so human nature is you're going to cheat that half step, that full step back to the shooter, and that's what's created some of these gaps and these lanes for NC State. They go hand in hand, Roxy.
Brian passed the pull-up jumper, and the box out, and Jackson Robinson claims the rebound, and BYU pushing. Jackson Robinson open. Three. Second three for Jackson Robinson. And a foul out top. Dallin Hall will put NC State at the line for a 1-and-1. First on Hall. Minute 54 left in the half. And it's Brian Pass, the junior, at the line for NC State. 1-and-1 for Pass. He's only shot one free throw so far this year, and he's made it. And now he's 2 for 2 from the stripe.
You and I were talking. We thought this would be a high-level game. It has not disappointed here in the first 18 minutes.
And the rebound, Noah Waterman for the Cougars. Spencer Johnson, a tough challenge three, and ripping the rebound down. Ben Middlebrooks, NC State runs. Blocked by Jackson Robinson, who's off to the races. What a sequence from Robinson.
What a play. And we're going to
get a technical on Jackson Robinson.
And Robinson just got the technical for the scream in the face. Great defensive play, and these two were going after it a little bit. Something was said 2 possessions ago to Robinson, and then Robinson hit the 3, and he started chirping at him back down the floor. The officials saw that. I think this is a residual based on that interaction and wanting to make sure that nothing escalates here tonight.
And we also saw the end of the NC State Vanderbilt game yesterday. Some stuff happened. Now, nothing really transpired from it, but some people had to be separated, and Jaden Taylor was in the middle of it last night.
So what was a great play kind of gets nullified here a little bit by setting Morcell and allowing him to get to the free throw line.
And he missed the second, made the first. And the personal is also a technical on Jackson Robinson, so it's his first foul. NC State ball up 5. Morcell, tough fadeaway, and the rebound and a foul on NC State. And it's the second on Ben Middlebrooks.
Khalifa's played some pretty good minutes here in the first half out of necessity. But 9 minutes, that's 4 rebounds for him already. And no Fus Traore for the remainder of the game if you're just tuning in. No Atiki Aliatiki because he got suspended because of the incident last night.
And Ali Khalifa wasn't even in uniform last night. He was in sweats on the bench, and he's pressing a duty tonight as it falls off because Atiki Aliatiki is serving his 1-game suspension.
Well, and the fact that Fus is not available for the remainder of this game, so you have to have some size out on the floor.
And Khalifa misses both. DJ Burns. Forced back out by Khalifa. BYU steals it. Spencer Johnson. Too strong on the 3. And the rebound batted around, and it's controlled by Burns. And NC State can basically play for the last shot of the half. Kevin Keats wants to talk things over his use it or lose it 30-second timeout.
Good stop, fun game. I'm loving this.
5-point lead, NC State with the ball as we're closing out the first half of this championship game here in Las Vegas to the Vegas Showdown. And BYU just taking Fousseyni Traore into the locker room early with the athletic trainer here that's pressed Ali Khalifa into extended minutes here in the first half tonight. And he's got knee brace on his left knee. He's been dealing with the knee issue at the start of this season.
It's interesting that Fus would go back with 22 seconds left with the trainer. Makes me think that the report of he's completely done might not be completely accurate. Like that he might be trying to see.
It does raise your suspicion.
Yeah, what can I do here during the halftime to see if I can actually maybe go here in the second half? They've weathered a little bit of the storm without him on the floor, and they've made some good adjustments, but NC State has kept BYU away at just an arm's distance. Now, they have not made a shot in almost the final 3 minutes of this first half. They've got some points at the free throw line.
DJ Horn drives. Horn to the basket. Missed the layup. And the loose ball tracked down. Morcell at the horn. No good. And it's a 5-point lead for the Wolfpack at the half in Las Vegas. 43-38 NC State.
Really well played first half by both teams, but NC State, they did what they wanted to do. They were disruptive. BYU kind of settled down towards the latter stages of the first half, took better care of the basketball. But high-level championship play is what you'd expect in a game like this from two teams that are both undefeated. They want to stay that way, and they want some hardware before they leave Vegas.
Halftime from the studio coming up next. Showdown is part of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. The Mandalay Bay Michelob Ultra Arena in Sin City, Las Vegas. 43-38, NC State leading BYU as we're getting ready to start the second half of this championship game, along with Sean Farnham, Roxy Bernstein with you. And championship game has lived up to the hype. It's been a great first 20 minutes.
It really has been, and I think that it was about knowing who your identity is and how you want to play, and then executing to that identity. And I thought both teams had stretches where they looked the part of who they are, but I think NC State was able to capitalize on more of who they are, especially early in the game. Their ability to turn over BYU allowed them to jump out to a 12-point lead, and it's because of the activity and the ability to jump in the passing lane. 7 steals on 9 turnovers led to 11 points off of turnovers, just 2 points off of turnovers in the first half for BYU. And so I think that if you're North Carolina State, you're saying, okay, hey, look, our defense led to our offense, and when we got in the half court, good things were happening as they knocked down 5 3-pointers and got to the foul line 14 times in the first half. BYU, it is simple. When they closed the gap in this game, they did so by knocking down the 3-point shot. They got out in transition. They ran to their spots. Shooters were there. When they drove with the purpose of kicking out. And I think for NC State in the second half, there's 2 things you've got to think about defensively. Is defensive transition. Normally you run back and you protect your paint. They've got to close out to 3-point shooters and stay out of that middle third, and then on drives you have to stay a little bit more attached. If they do that, I think they've got ability to kind of stifle BYU a little bit playing without Fus Traore.
And the Cougars left some points at the line in the first half, which is uncharacteristic of a BYU team. NC State led by as many as 12 in the first half as DJ Burns Jr. goes inside. Then he breaks the seal in the second half right away to put the Wolfpack up 7.
He's played with great composure. He's got 8 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists on the game. Khalifa getting the start here in the second half with, again, Fus Traore out for the game. Went down, grabbed what looked like the back of his hamstring. BYU has informed us he is done for the night.
Noah Waterman, 5 to shoot. Spencer Johnson in the lane. Up and under the scoop. And somehow he split that double team and laid it in. Stepped through by Spencer Johnson.
Defensive transition going to be very key for BYU. What a play by Taylor.
Wide open. Jaden Taylor a 3.
I mean, Taylor and the way he set up the screen to create that space locked up Spencer Johnson.
Knocked away by Mohamed Diarra. DJ Horn up the floor. Deep 3, DJ Horn off the heel of the rim, and the rebound chased down by Trevin Nell for BYU. Talon Hall rattles in a 3. Two minutes into the second half. Broken up by Noah Waterman. Stays with NC State and 10 on the timer.
BYU has to lean in on their defense, and it starts with defensive transition. It starts with staying in the gaps, but as we've seen throughout the course of this night, this NC State team, they've shot it very well and confidently.
That's way off from Casey Morsell. Racing up the floor to the basket and the slam, Noah Waterman. The closest BYU has been in a long time. Gliding to the basket, Casey Morsell for NC State.
Good find. Khalifa puts a little bit more on that pass, that's a shot for Nell.
Trevin Nell, 3. 2-point game.
Hard closeout, a little shot fake, sidestep, create space, and BYU fans, they're making their presence felt.
Slipping to the basket, Mohamed Diarra tries to throw a pass. It looked like it hit the rim, and then Khalifa swats it out of bounds.
Let's go back to the last possession though. Watch the kick out. Again, driving to find shooters. Get off balance. A little shot fake and step to the left. And Trevin Nell, you give him room, he's going to knock it down.
Foul was called actually on BYU. And it's on Noah Waterman, his second. DJ Burns, 5 for 5 from the line so far this year. Remains perfect.
It's amazing with how often the ball was in his hands, and a player of his size, he has only attempted 5 free throws on the season prior to that one.
Burns, who scored over 1,600 career points. Last year, honorable mention, all ACC. Played his first 3 years at Winthrop. And then missed the second, and the rebound secured by BYU. Noah Waterman, too strong on the 3. And the rebound batted around, and DJ Horn rips it away for NC State. Here comes Jaden Taylor. Tough step back on the baseline from Casey Morsell.
That was an outstanding play.
Trevin Nell, another 3.
Now, Jaden Taylor cannot lose Trevin Nell. Trevin Nell, I promise you, wants to shoot the 3-point shot. And if you give him space, he more often than not will make it.
Deflected by Trevin Nell. Here comes Morsell. Spinning. Off balance and one. What a shot from Casey Morsell. And now teams need to be separated again. And the question is, did some NC State players leave the bench area? Now, it was a timeout because of the media timeout. But the officials, Ray Natilli, Terry Oglesby, Randy Richardson, trying to restore order as some emotions boiling over again. Championship on the line in Vegas. So the officials are still at the monitor figuring out that last situation. And here is again what transpired after the made bucket from Casey Morsell.
Watch on the spin here. First of all, it's a heck of a move. And as he falls to the floor, Hall goes to walk in. Parker kind of shoves like a little bit of a forearm into Hall. Then that creates more shoving, and then more talking, and then more shoving. The officials have been over there the entire time during this timeout to look at it.
And the confusing thing is here, because it was a media timeout, you saw NC State players leave the bench area. And by rule, as we saw last night, if it's deemed to be a fighting situation, then those players are subject to immediate ejection for leaving the bench area.
I would be shocked if we got to that point here.
I hope not, because it's been a great basketball game, and I'd hate to see it altered because of a situation boiling over. So those 5 are good, but then there's you see some guys come in. For example, Ben Middlebrooks came in from the bench. And some players being ushered away, and the quick reaction for both coaching staffs to try to calm the situation. But again, the rule is if you leave the bench area, you're subject to an automatic disqualification. The coaches, they can leave to be peacemakers, which we saw how quickly Mark Pope jumped into action last night. 15:18 to go. The play is a made basket for Morcell. And the personal foul was on Trevin Knell of BYU, his third. But now they have gone to the monitor a couple of times to see if it warrants anything else. And this is a long discussion between Ray Natili, Terry Oglesby, and Randy Richardson.
Well, and we've just seen so much confrontation in the last couple of days of college basketball. There's a game tonight where there was a brawl.
Was it Robert Morris in Jacksonville?
I think so. I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, I did too.
And
no, it's X, not Twitter.
And then, yeah. And then we had the incident here last night, which is what has left BYU shorthanded underneath the hoop with Atiki Aliatiki getting ejected out of that game with 33.8 seconds left. Noah Waterman getting ejected out of the game for leaving the bench. Jose Perez, I mean, it just...
Bobby Hurley sent his whole team, other than the 5 guys on the floor, to the locker room so nothing else would happen.
This has been a really good game that's been very spirited. One that is suitable for a championship contest in Las Vegas or anywhere. And 2 teams that have played really well. And BYU is a tough physical team. NC State is not backing down from anyone. I can promise you that. But there's no reason that we have to stop play and break the momentum of this game because of a lack of self-control.
And we saw it. Nothing really spilled over at the end of the first game last night, but there was the officials having to jump in and separate, and the coaches had to keep the teams apart when NC State beat Vandy in the first game last night.
Now, BYU last night had multiple players leave the bench. Watch this. The staff immediately jumps up. And tonight in the altercation, and that was one thing Coach Pope talked about, was like, hey, our guys are not going to be leaving the bench ever again.
And he made that very clear to us when we talked to Mark after the game last night. And he was disappointed with his players that did leave the bench, and he was upset with his staff for allowing that to happen.
Yep. And the coaches are getting a long explanation, which means that my sense is that we're going to have a lot of different things coming out of this.
So Randy Richardson talking to Mark Pope right there. At the other end, you have Terry Oglesby talking to Kevin Keats, with Ray Natili at the scorer's table across the way, explaining it to the official scorer for the ball game. And Mark Pope walks away, and he appears to be in agreement with whatever Randy Richardson told him. And Kevin Keats having an extended conversation with Terry Oglesby at the other end of the floor.
We got 2 dead ball contact technical fouls, 1 on 11 in the red, 1 on 50 in the white.
And now Ray Natili coming over to explain to us how this is going to be handed out.
State's bench for guys coming off the bench during the melee there. 34 is one of them, and I'm not sure what the other guy's number is.
So we're seeing a couple NC State players have been tossed because they left the bench. Ben Middlebrooks is out for the rest of this one.
2 dead ball contacts offsetting.
Okay, so as you saw,
yes,
Middlebrooks is gone.
Yep.
For coming off the bench. So was the bench player that also was ejected there, and the official didn't even have a number for it.
For leaving the bench area.
For leaving the bench area. You have 2 dead ball technical fouls, 1 on 11, 1 on 50. That's on Parker, and then that's on Khalifa. Both will be personal fouls as well as technical fouls.
So the 3rd on Parker, it's the 1st on Khalifa.
And then we had the foul on the shot,
which was on Knell, his 3rd.
So at the end of it, we shoot the 1 free throw and we play on.
And the free throw missed by Casey Morcell, and BYU claims the rebound. A 4-point game. So it's good. We're back to action. And Trevin Knell has to call a timeout. He's in danger of a 10-second violation for BYU. So a timeout for the Cougars. 4-point game in Vegas. A lot to decipher. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. 4-point game, the championship of the Vegas Showdown. Rivalry weekend rolls on tomorrow night. Number 5, Florida State, without their quarterback, Jordan Travis. Already in the ACC championship game, they'll take on Florida, who's playing minus their quarterback, Graham Mertz. That's at 7 Eastern on ABC. Number 1, Georgia, already in the SEC championship game against Georgia Tech, the 115th meeting on ABC.
They're all hoping to get a chance to get one of those 4 spots. You know who got one of the 4 spots for the College Cup today? The women's soccer team from BYU. They trailed by 3 goals to North Carolina with 30 minutes left to go and scored 4 unanswered to go to the College Cup next week.
In the final 30 minutes?
In the final 30 minutes. 4 goals by the BYU Cougars. Best scoring offense in all of women's soccer this year.
Ali Khalifa long on the 3, but it's run down by Trevin Nell. Noah Waterman, corner 3. 1-point game.
Shooters galore on the outside. Waterman in the corner, deadly.
The leaner, and DJ Burns answers for the Wolfpack. Dallin Hall. And the pass intercepted. Racing up the floor, Jaden Taylor glides in.
Turnovers leading to points, and that time Waterman tried to dump it down to Khalifa. And it's a play he makes with Fus Traore all the time, but the only problem is he's not out on the floor.
Khalifa underneath and the lay-in for Ali Khalifa.
I like that Waterman went right back to him to try to instill confidence. They need Khalifa down the stretch of this game.
He's pressed into duty tonight. Fousseyni Traore down for the rest of the game with an injury. And a 3 rattles out from Casey Morsell. And as we told you earlier, no Atiki Ali Atiki for BYU. And now NC State without Ben Middlebrooks for the rest of this one. They're big off the bench. Off balance, somehow up and in for Dallin Hall. And back to a 1-point game.
How about the strength to even get that shot off?
DJ Burns powers his way in, draws the foul and 1.
DJ Burns just strong. In this championship game, you can't anticipate the foul. You've got to go through contact. Be strong with the ball on the attack. Hall at one end goes through it, and then DJ Burns at the other end. Give him the ball. Let the big man go to work through the contact, the ability to finish and flex and show some emotion. I love DJ Burns' personality. He is smiling, he laughs, he has fun, but he works hard.
I love his game. I love the feel that he has for the game. He's got great hands. For a big guy, he's got some pretty quick feet. 1 free throw for Burns. (62-58) NC State. Here's Trey Stewart, and the pull-up from Stewart from the elbow. Good first points of the night for Trey Stewart.
It's a great read, though, coming off of Khalifa's dribble handoff. Defender was trailing behind, got caught in the screen. Just get to the elbow and pull up. If he extends out, he drives into traffic.
The pull-up jumper. Again, DJ Burns for the Wolfpack. Season high tying 16 now for Burns. And a 3. Good look for Jackson Robinson that won't go, and it's cleared by NC State. Casey Morsell darts up the floor. Michael O'Connell straight on. And it goes off the shot clock, off the bounce, out of bounds. BYU ball, back and forth we go. 4-point game, Vegas Showdown Championship. Well, some emotion with the championship on the line at the Vegas Showdown. You'd think everybody'd be fired up, playing for a tournament title tonight. And it's turned into a really good one between NC State and BYU. Wolfpack have led for the majority of the night, leading by as many as 12 in the first half. But you knew BYU would not go away.
No, and they've done it primarily from beyond the arc. The three-point shot continues to be important. They are 4 of 7 so far here in the second half. That three-point shot's going to continue to have to be key, and they've done a better job of not allowing NC State to run out on turnovers. Only a 2-point advantage in the second half on points off of turnovers.
Jackson Robinson. Townsend triple getting some run here. And a travel on Richie Saunders, and BYU turns it over.
An empty possession, shuffled his feet, didn't come to a complete stop. Mark Pope looked at his team, said next play mentality, got to have it right here. They need to stop. 12 minutes left to go. They've been fighting to get back uphill the entire game.
And the rebound, Trey Stewart, as they forced Casey Morsell into a very tough shot.
Look at Jackson Robinson, best scoring option available on the court. Can you free him up? He's open now. Good closeout.
Spencer Johnson, 8 to shoot. Stepping back for a 3. And Spencer Johnson pulls the Cougars to within 1. DJ Horn darts in. Horn off balance, can't get the roll, the rebound, and the outlet from Jackson Robinson. Trey Stewart for the lead. Timeout NC State. BYU their first lead since it was 3-2.
The three-point shot and how it changes everything. We mentioned it out of the last timeout. For them to continue to try to claw back in this game, it has to be from beyond the arc. Johnson, smart, reads the defense, a little step back, and then in transition, you can't run to the middle third. You've got to have awareness of where shooters are. If you don't, BYU's going to find them, and that's going to be the result. And the Cougars out in front for the first time seemingly forever.
It was 3-2 with about 18 and a half minutes to go in the first half. That's the last time BYU led in this game. They've made 6 of their last 7 shots. In fact, a quick 6-0 run over 37 seconds to take the lead.
I guarantee you that Coach Keats was talking about we cannot have 3 guys run to the middle third. Where are the shooters? Find them. If you don't, BYU makes you pay in transition.
Having trouble getting it in. They just beat the 5 count. Michael O'Connell will back it away. Jaden Taylor. And the rebound, Spencer Johnson for BYU. Jackson Robinson goes inside. Richie Saunders. And the rebound tipped out. Here comes Casey Morsell for NC State. Attacks, gets to the line for NC State. And the foul on Spencer Johnson.
How quick does he get the ball in his hands and immediately explode up the floor? And just impressive to see the end-to-end speed. And there's no doubt when he broke away from the pack where he was going to end up.
2 shots for Casey Morsell. $19 for Morsell, a season high. His career best is 26. A 12 last night in their win against Vandy.
How many big shots has he hit in the second half there? Off balance, short corner on the far side, driving to the middle, spinning off.
And he ties the game. Trey Stewart knocked away by Michael O'Connell. BYU ball on the baseline.
Khalifa's going to come back in. Yeah, doing this without Fus Traore and without a Tiki Aliatiki. They've had to kind of patchwork the interior of their defense.
Mark Pope having to adjust on the fly. Reggie Saunders. 5 to shoot for the Cougars. Trey Stewart. Tough shot from the top, and the rebound. There's Jaden Taylor for the Wolfpack.
Great job by Jaden Taylor getting back in to corral that rebound.
Taylor launching. And Spencer Johnson claims it for the Cougars.
I don't know if I like that shot. I'd like to get the ball in DJ Burns' hands and let him slow down the pace of the game a little bit and then find a shooter or find something for himself on that possession.
Spencer Johnson backing down against Michael O'Connell. And across the lane, left it short. O'Connell pushes. Finds Morsell in the corner. 3!
A little taste of their own medicine. Morsell got to the corner. Trey Stewart felt like he had to pinch a little bit on that drive. That created the space for Morsell to get the finish.
Deep 3 from Jackson Robinson. And there's Casey Morsell, the rebound, and a foul on BYU.
Watch this on the drive. Stewart pinches, helps off ball side corner. You never want to help off a ball side corner because the result is going to be that. Morsell has been outstanding tonight. He's got 23. You mentioned his career high 26. We still got 8 left to go here.
Second foul on Richie Saunders. Team foul number 6 on BYU. NC State has been called for just 1 here in the second half. So after BYU took a brief lead, NC State trying to stabilize it. They've reclaimed the lead. Jaden Taylor trying to create some space against Noah Waterman. Michael O'Connell from the corner. And Noah Waterman tracks it down for BYU. Seven and a half minutes to go.
Good defense so far from NC State on this possession.
Allen Hall cutting through the lane, a reach in, the third on DJ Horn, just the second Wolfpack team foul. 7:16 to go in the championship game. NC State up 3 on BYU. Well, Casey Morsell is having a phenomenal championship game for NC State.
Just efficient. You think about the fact that he's drawn 5 fouls. He's gone to the free throw line 7 times. He's 8 of 14 from the field, 2 of 5 from deep. And really, it's not even just the points or the efficiency, but the moments in which those points have come. They've been in big moments when BYU's been a little bit on the run and closing things up, taking the lead. And it's been Casey Morsell who has had the answer for NC State so far tonight.
7:16 to go. And a 3-point lead for the Wolfpack. NC State. Gave up the lead momentarily, but they've reclaimed it. Dallin Hall left open. Tie game.
They drive to kick to shooters. I repeat, they drive to kick to shooters.
Say it with me.
NC State has mentioned it numerous times. They talked about its shoot around. That was a prime example of it right there.
Dennis Parker Jr. in the key. And Trevin Nell the rebound for BYU. Jackson Robinson to the basket, hangs, and BYU seesaws in front.
5 quick points. And there was a foul on a possession that looked like it was going nowhere. And it reset the shot clock to 20. The execution out of the out-of-bounds underneath and how they wanted to play it. Hall hits the 3, and then that time Robinson finishes.
Michael O'Connell missing on the baseline. Jackson Robinson, 3! Largest lead of the night for BYU.
And all of it either coming off the fingertips of Jackson Robinson as a passer or as a scorer. 5 straight for Jackson Robinson, but the 8-0 run has all come because of his decision with the basketball in his hands. He back cuts, looks like a layup, help side defense rotates. He finds Hall wide open, hits the 3, and then next possession, he drives, goes through traffic, able to finish. BYU averages 13 made 3-pointers per game. Here's number 13. How about that? Jackson Robinson was extremely quiet, did not score until midway through the second half of last night's game.
Plus in the second half, going along the lines of what you're talking about, the drive to find shooters, 14 made field goals for BYU in the second half, 9 assists.
Yeah. And they're up to 16 assists on the game, Roxy. This is a team that they will find shooters. When someone drives, you see players relocating and trying to find space.
They run a double team at Burns. It's through the hands, but recovering is Dennis Parker. And now a 3 for Jaden Taylor.
Oh my gosh.
Back the other way quickly, Trevin Nell. Lob for Nell, cutting down the lane.
How about Khalifa? What a read. They've put him in positions to have to make some plays here, and that was a fantastic pass from the big.
He's got 6 rebounds and 3 assists tonight. And he didn't expect to play when he walked in the building tonight. Ball knocked free, and BYU comes away with it. Five Cougars in double figures, led by 13 each from Noah Waterman and Jackson Robinson. Dallin Hall to the basket. DJ Burns isolated. And a reach in on Ali Khalifa, his 3rd.
Last 2 possessions, Khalifa, though, at the offensive end has been an integral part. Watch the read here on the back cut. He finds Nell, able to finish. And then the very next possession, a little handoff action to Hall. And he stands there, and Hall just wraps right around him with the dribble, able to finish.
Team foul number 7, so that puts NC State into the bonus. DJ Burns 2 for 3 at the line. Tonight, a 1-and-1. Trevin Nell, 3!
That is a complete defensive breakdown by Jaden Taylor. And you cannot have it in that moment.
15-3, the run for BYU, their largest lead of the night. And a whistle away from the ball. It's on Noah Waterman of the Cougars. It'll be Burns back for a 1-and-1.
A 9-point lead for BYU. Shooters galore. Nell is one of the best on the roster, and that's just too easy. You're pinched in way too far off of number 21 in white, and he's going to make you pay.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Las Vegas, where excessive celebration is encouraged. What a championship game we have for you in Vegas, and what a run. As BYU has trailed for the majority of this game, a 15-3 surge to go up by 9 as we take a look at a Novavax shot of the game.
The beautiful pass from Robinson to Hall on the outside. And then the drive and the finish. This is a collection of shots, but this was the run and the stretch that gave BYU the lead and now has put NC State in the role of trying to catch back up. But the balanced scoring, last night only one player in double figures for BYU. That's not how they've played all season long, and it's certainly not how they're playing tonight. 4 guys with 13, 1 with 11.
They've made their last 6 shots from the floor, and they were trailing by as many as 12 in the first half of this game. 1-and-1 for DJ Burns Jr. And he missed the front end of a 1-and-1 for the second straight time. Jackson Robinson to the basket, missed the tip in, Ali Khalifa.
Oh my goodness. Khalifa in the right place at the right time. He has 9 rebounds, 5 assists. What a performance for a player that wasn't expected to play.
And now 5 points. And it hit the underside of the backboard, last touch by NC State.
And there's close to a technical here on Morcell. The official put back in the microphone, the whistle. I've got the microphone. He has the whistle.
I like it that way.
Yeah. And
although I'm sure Terry Oglesby would be a fine commentator if we asked him to be. But he's no Sean Farmer.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Inside 3 minutes. Knocked away from Khalifa to steal. Here comes Jaden Taylor racing up the floor. Cuts to the goal. And the follow missed by Dennis Parker Jr. and BYU comes back the other way. Jackson Robinson attacks and lays it in. 11 straight for BYU.
The majority of them coming off of his fingertips. He has been sensational here in the second half.
Step back 3. Casey Morcell for NC State, and a timeout for Kevin Keats and the Wolfpack to cut it to 10.
That stops an 11-0 run by BYU with Morcell knocking down that 3-point shot, tying his career high of 26 points. But BYU and Jackson Robinson putting on a show here in the second half. Robinson drives. Shooters, by the way, in the opposite corner. Able to finish. But Morcell will step back, watch the feet get set right underneath him. Quick elevation up, back over the top, and a huge answer.
Last timeout for NC State. They're out of them. Possession arrow favors BYU. You look at the team fouls. The Wolfpack have only committed 2. NC State They'll have to foul a bunch if they're going to play the foul game. BYU's got 8 in personal foul issues in this game. Nobody with more than 3 for NC State. While for BYU, nobody with more than 3 on their side either. ESPN Events Invitational Bracket, the championship game coming up on Sunday in Orlando. FAU and Virginia Tech, meeting at 1 Eastern on ESPN. The Disney Wide World of Sports there in Orlando. It's going to be a heck of a matchup there. We've got a great championship game here at the Mandalay Bay, the Michelob Ultra Arena, and a strong second half from BYU.
This has been a great game. Championship game feel. This has a March NCAA tournament intensity. Both coaches dialed in. Their teams have been dialed in. And it's been high-level basketball all night long.
And the execution of BYU in the second half of this game. Alan Hall brings it up the floor, and Trevin Nell hits the trailer. Jackson Robinson in the key.
How good has Jackson Robinson been?
17 for Robinson. Out of bounds, stays at this end with a Wolfpack. And a lot of teams, a lot of players, Sean, would have pulled it back out. Run some clock. We're playing the clock as much as we're playing the opponent.
I think you got to keep going, because it's what's gotten you here. I mean, if you pull back the throttle in that moment, you crack the door maybe to add some life to NC State. 71% field goal percentage in the second half by BYU. 71%.
And one for Dennis Parker Jr., his first points of the night.
60% from beyond the arc.
Foul was on Jackson Robinson, his second.
DJ Burns, once again, just finding his teammate. A facilitator out of the post.
And it rolls in for Dennis Parker Jr.
So a turnover would be huge right now for NC State.
Out of bounds, it stays with BYU.
That was a dangerous pass, and DJ Burns almost got there.
Look, NC State's committed only 2 fouls. At what point do they start having to foul?
Now. I think you have to.
And they do with Jaden Taylor. And his second. And Randy Richardson stepping in between those two.
We don't need any more talking. Come on. Everybody cool down. BYU, understand this. North Carolina State is going to foul. They have to. Be strong with the basketball.
Again, only the 3rd team foul in the Wolfpack.
Let the officials call the fouls. You have to be strong with the basketball. If you're weak with the basketball and the officials don't call the call and that you have a turnover, that's on you. You know they're coming.
And they foul Jackson Robinson, the 3rd on Casey Morsell. That's number 4. 100 seconds left. 9-point game. And a foul. It's on Taylor trying to fight through the Khalifa screen.
And they give him a technical. They just teed him up.
So the personal is the 3rd on Taylor, and the technical is the 4th on Jaden Taylor. And it's 2 shots for the technical on Taylor.
So they called it a push after the foul is what garnered the technical. And that sends Jackson Robinson to the free throw line.
And he's tied a career high now with 19 points. Off the bench for BYU. And for Robinson, 11 coming in the second half.
So there's the foul call, and then a little shove afterwards is what got it, I guess.
Waterman by himself underneath, lays it in. 91-78. DJ Horn a three. No timeouts for NC State. And on a tie-up, it's a BYU ball.
Yeah. But I think both these teams are going to be really good all season long and really hard to beat. I think the guards of NC State, the way they defend, how they can turn you over, really impressive. They've got shot makers around the court. But for those that have not watched BYU all season long, they beat San Diego State at home. They were impressive last night. And again tonight, they share the basketball. They have 20 assists on 34 made field goals. They have 14 made three-point shots. They rebound the ball well. They are plus 11 in the rebounding category in this game tonight, Roxy, without their two big men, Cruz Traore and Atiki Aliatiki. This BYU team, you go ahead, preseason 13th in the Big 12, no chance. No chance.
You think Ali Khalifa woke up this morning and thought he was going to play 26 minutes tonight?
And put up career highs? No. Turnover.
And NC State comes away with it. Casey Morsell moves in, gets to the bucket, and he missed the layup. And then it's out of bounds. It's an NC State ball. And they're going to go to the monitor to make sure the call is correct. The ruling on the floor was Wolfpack basketball. As we are in the final 2 minutes. And did somebody get thrown out from NC State? Terry Oglesby motioned toward the Wolfpack bench area. Jaden Taylor has just been given another technical. He's been thrown out of the game.
Yeah, Jaden Taylor's been thrown out of the game.
He already had the one technical just a couple of trips ago up the floor, and now his second, and he is done for the night. With 1:04 to go. So they are looking at the monitor to see whose basketball it should be.
I think it's NC State's ball. I think Parker deflected it off of Nell. Nell's hands were going towards the end line. And then Coach Keats just got kicked out.
Kevin Keats has been tossed.
This is
by Terry Oglesby, and it's all falling apart now for NC State.
This is really unfortunate. And Coach Keats is hot. I was watching the replay that we were showing you at home on who we thought the ball was going to go out on, and you've got 4 free throws now for BYU. Coach Keats has been ejected. And Coach Keats, he was not happy about the technical that went against Jaden Taylor. And Coach Keats has been ejected from the game, and he has not left the court yet. This is wild.
And Kevin Keats now sauntering toward the end of the bench, toward the locker room area. As the head coach for NC State has been thrown out. It's a shame because this was a terrific basketball game, and this is what people will remember, the way this game ended. So Jackson Robinson at the line. He will shoot the technicals here. And there's 64 seconds to go.
Well, and the key is he ejected Coach Keats on 1 technical. So it was not a double technical against Coach Keats. It was 1 technical and gone.
And the roll for Robinson. And he'll shoot 2 more now. So the first one was for the 'technical that threw out Jaden Taylor. And the second one was on Kevin Keats.
Everybody's just got to keep their head here now for the minute and 4 seconds because the temperature in this building just got real hot. And I'm going to tell you this right now, the NC State players are not happy. They just watched one of their teammates.
They lost their coach.
They walk off the court with a technical, and they just lost their coach.
And they lost one of their teammates a while ago. BYU scored 57 points now in the second half.
A total of 4 people from North Carolina State have been ejected in this game. 2 for leaving the bench in an earlier incident, and now Taylor and Keats.
DJ Horn missed a tough 3, and the rebound, there's the freshman Parker, and 1 underneath for Dennis Parker Jr.
Offensive rebound. Getting in there, Parker Jr., talented freshman for NC State.
Second foul on Dallin Hall, and Parker hits the free throw. Now the pressure for the Wolfpack. 11-point game inside a minute to play.
Break the press now. I would pull it out if I was BYU. I don't get trying to do anything there.
Here comes Casey Morsell back the other way.
Why would you go do something there?
And he glides in a new career high of 28 for Morsell. 95-86. They strip it out of bounds off of BYU.
And by the way, it's a 9-point game, right? NC State's, this is the coach has gone. It doesn't mean they're not going to play hard. And if you're BYU down here, all you had to do was pull the ball back out. They'd foul you, and you'd be at the free throw line.
Ball comes into DJ Burns. DJ Horn glides in, and there is Noah Waterman securing the rebound for BYU. And Jackson Robinson will bring it up.
And the coaching staff from NC State saying no fouls and just back it up. BYU is going to win the championship of the Vegas Showdown in what was a great game. The final margin here is not indicative of how tight this game was, how good this game was for a long, long portion. But credit to Jackson Robinson and BYU in the second half of this game. They took over. They shot better than 70% from the field. And they did it without both of their interior presence. No Fus Traore, no Atiki Aliatike. BYU stays undefeated.
NC State led by as many as 12 in the first half. BYU scored 57 points in the second half, and they run away with it 95-86. They win the championship of the Vegas Showdown in Las Vegas. Great Thanksgiving weekend here in Sin City. My partner Sean Farnham and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein. Thanks so long from Vegas.